I found out my husband had been living 2 lives while I was pregnant with our daughter. Not one mistake, not one bad night, not a rough patch that turned into something stupid. A whole second life. My name is Nora. I'm 31. My husband, Daniel, is 35. We were together for almost 8 years and married for 4. For most of that time, I thought we were the kind of couple who had survived real things together. Money stress, moving cities, family illness, trying for a baby, the exhaustion of new parenthood. I thought those things made us stronger. Apparently, they just gave him more opportunities to lie. I found out because she messaged me. Her name was Brooke. I had never heard of her before. She sent one message first. "Are you Daniel's wife?" I stared at it for a long time, not because I didn't understand the question, because some part of me understood it too quickly. I replied, "Yes, why?" She started sending screenshots, dozens of them, messages, photos, voice notes, dates, hotel receipts, pictures from inside restaurants I recognized. One picture taken in the passenger seat of his car. My car seat cover was visible in the background. That's when I threw up. According to Brooke, Daniel told her he was separated. Then he told her we were only living together because of money. Then, when I got pregnant, he told her I was just the mother of his child and that he was staying around out of responsibility. Later, when she questioned why we still looked married online, he said we had an open arrangement. I didn't even know how to process that. I was home breastfeeding his baby. He was outside telling another woman our marriage was basically paperwork. The affair had been going on for over 2 years. During our anniversary trip, during my pregnancy, during the baby shower, during the week I was in the hospital, during the months when I was sleeping in 90-minute pieces and crying in the bathroom because I felt like I was failing as a new mother. He was texting her that he missed her. He was telling her she understood him better than anyone. He called her his real peace. I read that sentence 5 times. His real peace. Meanwhile, I was the one packing his lunches, washing bottles, scheduling pediatric appointments, and folding laundry at midnight with stitches still healing. I was not his peace. I was his life manager. When I confronted him, he did what people like him always do. First, he denied it. Then he minimized it. Then he cried. Then he said he was broken. Then he said he never stopped loving me. I asked, "Did you love me when you brought her into our home?" He froze. Because yes, he brought her here, to our house, to the place where our daughter sleeps. I asked again, "You brought her into our home?" He said, "It was one time." I said, "That's not an answer." He said, "I was in a bad place." I said, "I was postpartum. What place do you think I was in?" He had nothing to say to that. For the first week, I barely functioned. I fed the baby, changed her, washed bottles, answered work emails like a robot. Then, I would sit on the floor next to her crib and shake, not dramatic shaking, just my body reacting before my brain could catch up. I lost weight without trying. My milk supply dropped. My chest hurt from stress. My phone made me nauseous because every notification felt like another truth arriving late. Daniel kept saying he wanted to fix it. He deleted her number. He offered passwords. He said he would go to counseling. He cried in the hallway while holding our daughter and said, "I don't want to lose my family." I said, "You already risked us every day for 2 years." He said, "That's not fair." I laughed, not because it was funny, because I honestly could not believe he said the word fair to me. His mother got involved. Of course she did. She called me and said, "Marriage is hard, Nora. Men make mistakes." I said, "Mistakes don't last 2 years." She said, "You have a baby now. You need to think about stability." I said, "I am. That's why I'm not pretending this is stable." She got quiet after that. Then Daniel's sister texted me. She said, "You don't want to blow up the family while emotions are high." I wrote back, "He blew up the family. I'm just refusing to stand in the smoke." She didn't respond. For almost 2 months, I tried to decide what to do, not because I wanted him back, because shock makes every choice feel impossible. People think betrayal gives you instant clarity. It doesn't. It makes your whole life look edited. You start replaying every memory. Was he texting her that night? Was he thinking about her during our ultrasound? Did he leave early because of work or because of her? Did he kiss me and then call her from the driveway? Every good memory gets contaminated. The turning point came when Brooke messaged me again. She said Daniel had contacted her from a different number. After he cried to me, after he said he ended everything, after he promised he was choosing his family, he texted her, "I'm trying to do the right thing, but I miss you." That was it. That was the moment I stopped asking whether reconciliation was possible. Because he wasn't choosing. He was waiting to see which woman would make his life easier. I called him into the kitchen after the baby was asleep. I put the screenshot on the table. He looked at it, then he looked at me. And before he said anything, I already knew. He was not sorry enough. He said, "I was confused." I said, "No, you were caught." He said, "I didn't know how to let go." I said, "You let go of me every day for 2 years." He started crying again. I didn't. That scared him more than yelling would have. I told him I was filing for divorce. He said, "Can we slow down?" I said, "You had 2 years to slow down." He said, "You're going to destroy me financially?" I said, "You destroyed the marriage. The paperwork is just catching up." That's when his tone changed. Suddenly he was worried about the house, the savings, custody, his retirement account, how expensive lawyers are, how hard it would be to afford 2 households. I said, "You should have thought about that before creating 2 relationships." He said, "You're being vindictive." I said, "No, I'm being accurate." Here's the part some people might judge me for. I am not trying to make this easy for him. I am not giving him the house because he needs stability. I am not waiving support because he feels guilty. I am not protecting his reputation from the consequences of his choices. For years, I built a home with him. I carried his child. I kept the house running. I took career hits when the baby came. I gave him trust he did not deserve. So no, I am not walking away quietly just to help him feel less ashamed. My father helped me find a lawyer. My mother came over and sat with the baby while I gathered documents, bank statements, mortgage records, insurance, phone bills, everything. I felt weirdly calm doing it. Not happy, not excited. Calm. Because for the first time in months, I was doing something that protected me. Daniel found out I had spoken to a lawyer and lost it. He said, "So that's it? You're just done?" I said, "You were done with honesty long before I was done with you." He said, "You're taking my daughter from me." I said, "No, you still get to be her father. You just don't get to use her as a shield." He said I was cold. Maybe I am now. But cold is what happens after someone sets your life on fire and expects warmth. Update 1. I told my closest friends. 2 of them cried. One admitted she had always thought Daniel seemed too charming when he wanted something. That hurt, but I needed to hear it. Another friend asked if I was sure I wanted to divorce while the baby was so young. I said, that is exactly why I need to do it now, because I do not want my daughter growing up in a house where her mother learns to survive disrespect. Update 2. Daniel keeps asking for another chance, but every time he says chance, what I hear is more time. More time for me to calm down. More time for him to manage the story. More time for everyone else to pressure me into being reasonable. But reasonable is not the same as forgiving, and forgiving is not the same as staying. Update 3. I don't know what the next year looks like. I know it will be hard. I know co-parenting will be painful. I know people will have opinions. Some will say I should have tried harder because we have a child. Some will say I am bitter because I want what the law says I am entitled to. Some will say divorce is ugly. Maybe it is, but so is betrayal. And I am done making betrayal look cleaner than it was. He built a second life while I was building our family. Now he wants mercy because consequences are inconvenient. I am not trying to ruin him. I am trying to stop letting him ruin me. And if people think that makes me bitter, then maybe bitter is what a woman sounds like when she finally starts telling the truth.